Hi, it's Harvard lawyer Lee, and today I'm going to be analyzing the mysterious and very disturbing case of the disappearance of 31-year-old attorney Ciera Breland. In February 2022, just a month ago, Ciera was a brand new mom with a 5-month-old. But sometime between February 24th and February 25th, Ciera disappeared into thin air, leaving behind her credit cards, her ID, her cell phone, and, most importantly, her 5-month-old infant named Jackson. Ciera's husband, Xavier Breland, reported her missing on February 26th. Now police have named him a person of interest, but the police have not found Ciera and they have not found her body. Now let's talk about what happened. Ciera is from Georgia, and she initially started her law practice in the metro Atlanta area. She met Xavier when she represented him in a legal matter, and they got married in 2020. In 2021, the couple moved to Carmel, Indiana, where Xavier's father lived. Ciera took a job in nearby Indianapolis with a law firm there. But Ciera's family says she regretted that move. That they say she texted them that when she and Xavier came back to Georgia for a visit, she was staying. She was going to move in with her parents, find a job in Georgia, and she wasn't going back to Indiana. Ciera was reportedly very close to her family. Her mother says she talked to her father virtually every day, sometimes for hours. She also apparently was very close to her cousin and best friend. But the relationship that Ciera had with Xavier may have been rockier. Her family says they were told the police had been called to the Breland's house in Carmel, Indiana, and they had sent specifically an officer who specialized in domestic violence, who concluded that both Xavier and Ciera were not telling the truth, and that Ciera was not letting Xavier take consequences for his actions. They said unless she was willing to do that, they weren't going to be able to help her. Then in late February, Xavier and Ciera drove the 550 miles from Indiana to Georgia to visit family. They started at Xavier's mom's house, which is in Johns Creek, a very nice subdivision of Atlanta. In fact, it's been named the richest city in the state of Georgia by income level. So on the 19th, Ciera drove alone with her son, Jackson, the infant, to her dad's house in Cleveland, Georgia. She stayed overnight, she saw her nieces and nephews, and then she left the next day. Ciera's cousin says she tried to call Ciera on the 22nd, but Ciera never picked up and she didn't call back, which was very unusual, the cousin says. Ciera was last seen on security camera footage the night of the 24th of February, 2022, at Highgate Manor Court in a very upscale subdivision of Parsons Walk. She was at Xavier's mother's home. Police have not released that footage, so we haven't seen it yet. Xavier says that at some point after the 24th, the couple traveled back to their home in Carmel, Indiana, which is about a 9-hour drive. Now, police say the couple was driving a 2017 Volkswagen Tiguan with a Georgia tag RMB 5869. It had an FSU law school frame surrounding the license plate. They are looking for anyone who saw the couple on that trip from Georgia back to Indiana. The next time the police became involved was on Sunday, February 26th. Xavier filed a missing persons report. What he said was that the night before, that would be Saturday, February 25th, Ciera left the house shortly after 10 p.m. to walk to a nearby store. He said, the police found there in the house her phone, her purse, her credit cards, her 5-month-old child, Jackson. Xavier said that when she left, Ciera was wearing a black top and purple shorts, which was very strange given the fact that the temperature that night was in the mid to upper 20s. He said she never came home. Police checked the surveillance video at the local CVS store and did not find a record of her entering the store. Now, Ciera's family members say that the Indiana police also found Ciera's, not just her personal phone, but also her work phone and a burner phone she had to call them in case of emergency, all at the Indiana home. Her ID was there, her credit cards, everything was there. So the police traced Ciera's phone use to Xavier's mother's house, but the trail grew cold right there. The phones themselves were in Indiana, but were not used, apparently, from what I can tell from the reporting, were not used at any time on the trip that they apparently made from Georgia back to Indiana. So after police began investigating Ciera Breland's missing persons report, they realized that Breland was wanted in Newnan, Georgia for aggravated stalking of his ex-wife, by whom he has a 5-year-old child. The stalking incident occurred a year earlier, back on March 11th, 2021, right about a year ago. Based on that date, it would appear that Ciera and Xavier would have been married at the time of the stalking, and that Ciera would have been about 4 months pregnant at that time. Breland wasn't arrested until 3 months later, on June 3rd, 2021. Now, he was indicted in December of 2021, but he apparently didn't show up for his arraignment on February 23rd, which hits now our time frame, because what we do know is that the court issued a bench warrant for his arrest. That normally means that he didn't show up, wasn't available when he was supposed to show. So that warrant was in process when the Carmel, Indiana police contacted in the search for where was missing Ciera. So let me stop for just a minute to talk to you about what is aggravated stalking. And it has 4 elements under Georgia law. That's what Xavier was wanted for in Newnan, Georgia. The first is that there has to be stalking, but it can't be just stalking, because the second element is that there has to be a restraining order or an injunction already in place to keep the person from stalking the victim. In other words, it's typically a second offense. Typically, and in this case, for example, Xavier had been charged with misdemeanors for harassing phone calls to his ex-girlfriend. That had prompted a family violence order. And now the third element is that the person accused of stalking violates the injunction. So it's not just stalking, but there's an injunction and then it happens again. So the person violates the injunction or the restraining order and contacts the victim again. So we presume, I don't know the details, but that Xavier is accused of contacting his ex-girlfriend again. And then the fourth element is related to motive. The contact has to be for the purpose of harassing and intimidating the victim. Now, in Georgia, aggravated stalking is punishable by imprisonment of 1 to 10 years and a fine of up to $10,000. At this point, that's all that Xavier is in jail for, is for missing his arraignment for the stalking charge. So back to the case of missing Ciera Breland. She's now been gone for more than a month, and clearly there are several theories about what has happened. Theory 1 is that she just grew tired of her life, or for some other reason just walked away from everything. This theory seems very unlikely. Ciera is an attorney, so she can't simply move to a new state and take another job. She has to use her law degree. She has to either take the bar exam or she has to move to be admitted in the new state. And secondly, Ciera would have needed, in order to start a new life, she would have needed money, she would have needed transportation, but the police found her purse, her credit cards, her car, everything at her home. And then third, her family and friends say that just would be very uncharacteristic of who she was for an entire lifetime, and particularly given that she had a 5-month-old child. So now the second theory would be that something happened to Ciera on the way to the store. Maybe she was kidnapped or killed or hit by a car. The only evidence really to support this theory is that Xavier says she left home and she's missing. But at this point, we just don't have any evidence one way or the other that would support something happening to her along the way. On a cold winter, and it also, this theory wouldn't explain her odd behavior of supposedly leaving home without warm clothes, without credit cards, without her purse. On a cold winter night, most people who go out would not wear shorts. They wear something warmer than that. They would take their purse, they would take their credit card, and they would drive instead of walking. So we presume that the police will be searching the cameras all along the route that Ciera would have taken to see whether they can find any evidence that she was there. The family says police have told them the CVS surveillance video does not show her entering the store and that the police do not think she was even in Carmel, Indiana on the 25th. Theory 3 is that Ciera's husband knows more than he's telling and harmed her in some way. The police seem to be focused on this particular theory. They have called Xavier a person of interest. The evidence to support this theory is that Xavier apparently would even admit that he was the last person to see her alive because he says she was with him on the 25th in Carmel and she left. She has not been seen since she was in Georgia, but he reported her missing in Indiana, not in Georgia. Although her phones were found in Indiana, they apparently, from what we understand from the police, were not used at any point on the trek from Georgia to Indiana. But and the circumstances that are surrounding her disappearance, the leaving of anything that would be a form of support, of her transportation, and most particularly her child, all of those point to something very serious having happened. Now, currently, Ciera's and Xavier's 5-month-old baby has been placed with Child Protective Services. Ciera is still listed as an associate with her Indiana law firm of Gordon and Reese. Ciera is 5 feet tall. She weighs 120 pounds and has blonde hair. The police are looking for people who saw either Ciera or her vehicle at any point after February 24th. If you have any information, please contact the police and let them know. They are looking for her, as is her family. Thanks. I'm Harvard lawyer Lee. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn more about legal matters and crimes, please like this video, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.